Hello, and welcome to the next Create Virginia session. I am here with the amazing Jason, Rony, and the legendary Cruz. And today we are going to harness the power of TikTok. I want to go ahead and dive right into things. So I'm going to step out and let these two amazing content creators do their thing. So take it away.
Thank you.
Okay, Jason, you introduce yourself first.
All right. My name is Jason Rony, and I'm with the Cotton Candy Lab. We create specialty cotton candy with a little help from science. And we sell at festivals, fairs. But right now, we're going to talk about the other side of that. TikTok. Making TikTok videos is something I started just around 2 years ago now, and have been posting ever since. And I am also a student at Virginia Tech, and I study food science. So it kind of combines everything together. The cotton candy mixed with the food science, mixed with educating through TikTok, and using that as such a valuable resource to do that.
Sweet. I am Cruz. I'm with United Way of Central Virginia. I have a background in sports and entertainment, and ended up kind of getting hooked on TikTok about 3 years ago with literally no goals in sight. I honestly thought when I first started, I'll just do makeup videos, 90% of women that start on TikTok, right? And I got on it thinking people just do these dancing videos. I'm not doing any dancing videos, so I don't know if I have anything to add, but I'll check it out. People were saying a lot of good things about it. My husband, who is also a creator, was like, you should see it, check it out. So I finally dove in, and then about a year after I started, I ended up going viral, and it was really cool. And so I have, not from the business side or the business aspect of things, I have a different perspective of just kind of building a general following based on really who you want to hang out with. We got on sound? Mm-hmm. All right. So you got some notes.
Yes.
Let's go.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You guys may or may not have heard about TikTok. Lots of people have said, oh, you should get on TikTok, whether for your business or just to watch funny videos where you get sent TikToks through messages, which is not the best way to view TikToks.
That's my love language, though. Is sending people TikToks.
Yes, but it's so much nice ways. And the apps are they're get you to download the app. But that's kind of one of the first ways I saw on TikTok, is my girlfriend kept on sending me TikToks, and I just download the app to look at those. And but then I started to watch more and more, and it started taking up so much of my time. I thought, if I'm spending all this time on TikTok, I should at least make videos on it. And that's because I was on TikTok for months before I posted any content, with no plans to post it either. But again, TikTok is a video content platform. It is social media, but I don't really view it as a social media. It's more a form of entertainment like television and YouTube, where you're not necessarily talking to a specific person. It's a group of individuals that are just watching you for entertainment.
Yeah. Well, and you said earlier something about the education part of it. And I am finding that anytime I'm starting something new now, or I become interested in something new, I'm the type of person who likes to dive into it. And instead of going to Google or YouTube with 20-minute YouTube tutorials anymore, I'm really looking at what hacks have people posted on TikTok on this one subject, and being able to look that up in a hashtag really easily. It's really changed even just my time of consumption of having to learn how to easily do something new.
Yeah, definitely having that quick burst of information is why TikTok for me has done so well, because people don't want to listen to something for so long, especially about teaching them something science related. Yeah. They're so interested, and then if it doesn't get more interesting after a couple of seconds, they're gonna be off my YouTube channel. But TikTok, I can get to that information in that quick amount of time. And when we talk about TikTok, we're not necessarily talking just about TikTok. We're basically talking about the form of video that TikToks are, which are 15 seconds, 60 seconds, even longer now, of that vertical video.
Was out of 3 now?
It's 10 minutes now.
That's right.
But I haven't seen very many 10-minute videos that I don't recommend people.
Stand up. That's a huge sport, right?
Yes, I like it only when I know it's that long. Sometimes they like catch me like, I've been watching this TikTok for way too long.
Yeah.
But for this, if you're interested on TikTok, like making TikToks, but maybe you don't want to start on TikTok, you can use the other like Reels, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or in TikTok. And probably the best thing is to do a combination of all of them if you are trying to grow a business or grow a following, because then you just have more people to go to. But I don't do that as much as I should repost onto those other platforms.
So how do you use TikTok for your business specifically?
I use it like the business is the side aspect of it. The first aspect of like really any TikTok page shouldn't be to sell. It should be to get them to give them content, give them something enjoyable to watch, whether that just be you. It could be getting that interest about you and like, hey, I also sell art on the side. And that is a great way because those people already care about you. And so they're way more likely to care about what you do. I started like with like my TikTok is at Cotton Kitty Lab. So it's never personally about me, but there's still so much of me that goes into all the content and all the education parts as well, because all that intertwines.
Yeah. Speaking of handles, mine is Grease, Grit, and Lipstick. If you want, you should go follow Jason and I. I feel like because I don't use it really from a business side, I do a little bit with my work with United Way, and then I'll take on side clients for marketing every once in a while. And my number one thing is always like, no, you need to be on TikTok. For me, it's not necessarily feasible if I have so many hours in a day, and a 15-second TikTok, guys, takes me probably about an hour to make. And that's, if I don't have that chunk in my day, then I just don't have that chunk in my day. And so there are times where I'm super active on TikTok, and then there are times where I'm not so active, or I ghost for like a month. And I've noticed, though, that when I go back on and I make a video real quick, the people who are really my core following are like, oh, there you are. We missed you. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You noticed that you hadn't seen me in a while. But like, because I haven't really harnessed it as much for a business, right? What I really focused on, and really how I even went into it when I started with my TikTok page, was I didn't add my friends. I wanted to create something that was away from all of my other social media that I'm on all the time, where I felt like there are things that I can say on TikTok that if I said on Facebook, I'd be in a fight in 15 seconds. Like, and sometimes I don't have the energy to put that on Facebook, but I feel like it's something that needs to be heard. And so what I ended up doing was, like, anytime there was something that I really needed to get off my chest, I started putting it on TikTok instead. And then the people that agreed with me literally found me. And so one of the things that's been really funny for me is that, like, even my therapist, I'll go into therapy appointments and she's like, your TikTok came up on my For You page again. And I'm like, oh, because I'm talking about mental health.
Yeah, I talk about it by finger sometimes.
Yes.
They say, oh, I watched this video you made on this. Like, oh, neat, that's cool.
Yeah. And so, like, I think from the businesses that I've seen, you know, it's a lot about educating the customer on your product, or even how you make your product. And I think that is awesome, because I'm a total behind the scenes geek, and I want to see how the cotton candy is made. I want to see all the nerdy food science stuff you're doing that, because I geek out on that.
Yeah, and that's probably why TikTok has really grown so much. People aren't necessarily looking for that traditional media content that they've been used to for so long, like television, super produce, everything has put a lot of effort, and even YouTube, lots of these are getting higher production. But TikTok, being such an easy place to post, you're getting a lot more of the building side of it. The building aspect of the business, it's something that, like, lots of people call it, like, building in common. So when you're doing something, you share with your followers, and they can see your growth along the way. So, like, let's say you never sold anything, and you're just getting started. If you make a video series of, this is what I do to get started selling art, selling whatever you would like, and just show them, like, today I went to the bank.
Yep.
Finally got that done. And then like those little aspects of it make them feel connected to you, in which is so important when you're trying to sell them later on, because they care about you, they care about what you sell, and that is really the core of TikTok.
Yeah.
Getting people to like you and like what you're doing.
Well, and some people use it the opposite way. Like the more hate that they have, the more people are sharing their video. Right?
If you want to get more views, that is the way to go. But for like,
I don't recommend it.
yes, if you want to make it an enjoyable experience for yourself, which is also a really important part, because making videos that you don't want to make is not sustainable at all. Finding like, and so when I make videos, it's like a video I want to make. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing myself to make a video, because if I do that, that's where the quality will definitely start to decline. People can see that, like, see, like, if someone's super excited about something, when I'm super excited about something and I share it on TikTok, that excitement is shared to them and they also feel excited. And like some of my best videos are just like sharing simple little things that made me happy, and took like very quick amount of time to make, because like I recorded something in the moment of me being happy and I posted that, and it did really well. And it was such a more enjoyable thing to do than spend 2 hours like writing a script, doing the editing, focusing on all that. And so if you're like worried about like how big of time commitment, that's something to talk about. TikToks can either take a lot of time or a little time, depending on how much you do it. And I found the time you put into making TikToks has nowhere near the correlation of what views you're going to get or what reach you're going to get. It's all about actual content being spread and actual like how much do people want to watch this and continue watching it through the whole video.
Yeah. So top 2 tips so far: be super authentic.
Yes.
And everything is content.
Yes. Definitely film everything. Film, like if you're making art, film making the paint. Just even squeezing out the paint tube is some little video that have on a little montage and have some sound, like nice music over that. And you don't even need to do any voice at all. It's just what you would have done anyway, except now you have little clips of what that's going to be.
Oh man. As a creator, like a physical art creator, I love the videos where people are just squeezing out the paint, brushing it on. Like these ASMR kind of style videos where it's step by step of what they're making. I could watch those all day.
I find those being the best place for people to start, because like most, I did not like hearing the sound of my voice. I did not like being in front of the camera. And so that was why I never really focused on social media at all. But with TikTok, I didn't have to do that. You can start with doing just voiceover things like text to speech, or just no text and just music. And you can make those videos for as long as you find them enjoyable. If you feel comfortable enough to actually spread your voice and make voiceovers, then maybe even more comfortable to actually like have your face. Because I find that's like the number one reason people don't want to start, because they're worried about that showing themselves. And there are ways to get around it, and you can still like really grow on it.
Yeah. So I know you have some technical tips. Let's talk about like actually making a TikTok for a few minutes.
Yeah. So making a TikTok is something that can be as easy or hard as you want it. So you could have a nice DSLR camera, film it, go into a $2,000 editing software, edit it, or you can just take out your phone, record it, use just a simple editing app, and post the video. And when you're wondering what choice you want to do, always start with the bare necessities to start. Like, I still make videos just on my phone. I've considered getting like better equipment, but all that is a hindrance to make more content. Like, if I have to spend an extra 15 minutes getting the videos from my camera to my computer, then that's an extra 15 minutes that I'm not like making more videos, or it's less of that, more like it will drain me more the more work it takes. So trying to lower the friction to make content will be your best friend to actually making this something sustainable and not something you get a lot of motivation for, make videos for a week, and then you're done. And that is something I've done with lots of different other things, but luckily TikTok has stuck. And so for you, if you have done that, you've made TikToks, but you've like take a break, do anything, you can always come back at any time and post when you feel motivated to post, because the worst TikToks are the ones that you don't want to make.
I feel personally attacked by what you're saying.
Sorry.
No, because I'm at my regular TikTok, right? And then I got super into golf in the spring. And so I was like, I'm going to make a whole TikTok page that's just like candid golf videos. Because I think, just to kind of give some context, I think that golf is about to have this like crazy uprising for like millennials. And then it's going to become this really trendy thing again, which it hasn't been in a while. And so I was like, well, I'm going to get ahead of the curve and I'm going to start making like these montages of just like kind of golf bloopers of when I go out with my friends. And with those, I am recording them on equipment. I am having to then transfer all that video time into my Adobe software, right? And then I go on and I am making maybe a 30-second video out of 4 hours of footage. And I have made one and posted it. I've made others, but I posted them because I was like, no, I need to start really stockpiling this before I can get it like consistent. And there's not enough time for me, right? Like I have 2 kids. And so my day is already packed into add on another TikTok right now. I was like, all right, this isn't, like you said, it's not sustainable for me to go in and have to edit all this stuff right now. It's not only just like recording the 4 hours, it's then looking through the 4 hours, picking probably 30 minutes of content that I think is like gold, and then going through it again and going, okay, how can I get this down to 30 seconds? And man, I just exhaust myself through it. I love golf, but I hate that like heavy duty editing process right now when I could go onto my personal page and say something very quickly in 15 seconds and post that like some quip about how like fun moms are probably just drunk moms. And all of a sudden I'd have 400,000 views off of a 15-second clip that I made in my car sitting in the car line.
Yeah, TikTok can definitely do that. It's as much work as you make it out to me, and making it easy to post. And so that is just using your phone. So like this is my like step-by-step when I'm making a video. First, I have to think of an idea. And so sometimes I like sit down like I'm gonna think of ideas, but those are never when the best idea comes. They never come when you want them to come. No. So always like no more tip is to have a notes app, have a piece of paper, have a notebook. That's just your idea spot. So keep it in your day-to-day life. Like, are there things that this would be interesting to make a TikTok on? And if there are, write it down and then maybe make that TikTok, or just film it in that moment and maybe like edit it later. Just have that list down. So then the early videos you make are videos that just came upon yourself. So that's where I start. Then of course recording using my phone, either just the face camera or the rear camera, depending on the type of video. If I'm filming something that's happening, of course that one. And trying not to put too much like effort into making everything perfect. It's better to get lots of little clips of things happening or a couple takes of some idea that you want than trying to make it perfect, because TikTok is a place where anything can go viral and anything can flop. You can spend so much effort on it and it'll still flop. So,
and you can't take it personally.
Yes,
it could be timing. It could just be that like it's not getting boosted the way that you would like it to get boosted. It could be that literally like none of your friends have even seen it, or it didn't. For me, one of the things that I've noticed is if I'm not standing, I have like mint-colored walls in my bedroom. And when I first started making these videos where I was just speaking to the camera, it was COVID. We were stuck at home. I was always in front of this mint-colored wall. I've actually noticed that the times that it's not me speaking in front of the mint-colored wall, my views are way down because a lot of my friends that are watching through like who they follow, they're not seeing me when they first see it, and so they're just scrolling. And a lot of times if I have a video like that, where like I took a video of a mouse that was downtown because I thought it was adorable, and I had someone that sent me a text and was like, Oh, I didn't even, like, I literally had to look and see who posted this because I've never seen you post a video where it wasn't you in your room. And I was like, well, that's not true. I post lots of videos where it's not me in my room. And so people just aren't connecting. Like, I almost branded myself without meaning to brand myself.
And when it, like, lots of times people, like that, like, feel like you have to do one specific thing. And I kind of have that with myself. I only make cotton candy videos. And you have two options there: either make a new account or just have some videos that do less well than others. Because if you do the same thing every time, like have that mid-colored background, then people will feel like the followers that you do have will feel like, oh, this is her. But if you like change things up, maybe those people won't realize it's you, or it won't get shipped to their For You page, but it'll get shipped to other people's. And then you can maybe have a new person know you from this. And then that person, if they like you enough, they want to watch more of their content. And then they'll see, oh, you do all this other thing. So you could just be doing a normal video about yourself, nothing to do with anything business related, but they like, oh, wow, this person said something cool. And then you look at their page, oh, they sell art. That's so cool. Let me look at that as well. And so being able to post whatever you want, in reason, obviously. If like posting too much like of just random things will kind of hurt the people that want you for one thing, but I feel like that's just so incrementally small.
Yeah.
If it makes you post more, then do it.
Yeah.
Because the more videos you have, the more likely one's gonna do better than the others. Even if not, it'll still be something you wanted to post anyway.
Yeah. How much do you follow TikTok trends or trending hashtags? Like, and how much do you feel like you implement that into your process versus just like making your own content without any really outside?
Yeah, so I don't really do very many trending videos. I do it sometimes when it applies to my niche.
Right.
If it applies to me, I'll do it. If it doesn't, I kind of just ignore it. And so if you do want to like get more into trends, I highly recommend going to the TikTok search feature, which is on the For You page top right. Search for trend tutorials or trending sounds or like anything to have, because some people spend all their their whole page is just trying to find trends, and they make videos about like telling people, hey, this is the trend. And I search, I filter it yesterday, this week, and then I like scroll through that, see what's trending. So that way you don't have to actually spend lots of time watching TikToks to actually get into trends, because sometimes in your specific For You page, it will not be what the majority of people see. So that's how I like stay up to date with trends. And most time I don't post trend videos just because most of them don't really apply to me that well, or I just don't want to make that video. Because if I don't want to make the video, I'm not going to make it.
Do you use trending hashtags, though, that don't necessarily pertain to...
Hashtags. That's something I definitely want to talk about. On TikTok, hashtags are so different than Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, hashtags are so important. On TikTok, they kind of don't matter. They kind of matter sometimes, but I found that they don't necessarily affect my views, but they only affect like searches. So if I'm doing some educational content or doing something I want, like if they're searching for kind of candy experiment, I'm going to have that hashtag in it. So then I just get on the search feature for that. But generally, if it's just some random video that doesn't really have anything, I'll just post it with like a little caption, something so they can like spend the time to read it. Or sometimes I just do no caption at all. And I found that it doesn't really affect much.
You don't do a caption?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it depends on what the video is. If you can build curiosity in that first little bit, and having a caption sometimes isn't the best.
You want to be a mystery man.
If it can keep people watching, that is the thing. Because the most important thing is, can you increase their watch time? People watching from the first second to all the way to the end, or how much through it is. Because that's the main trend, the main trend line that you need to look for. Because if people aren't watching all the way through, then TikTok's not going to think it's a very good video, and they're not raising up to more people.
So we got a question from Lamont that says, should we have super niche down TikTok accounts, or should we treat it like Facebook feed and just do whatever?
do you want to take it first, or do you want me to take it?
Sure, I'll take it first. I say you can do whatever. If you have, depending on the type of account you want to do, sometimes like I just want to make cotton candy videos. So if I did want to make like something completely different from that, like I have another account that's about Pokemon. And so I'm not going to like correlate those two. But if you just have some random thought you want to add, you don't need to make like a personal account and then a business account. You can like intertwine those two things together. But obviously, if it is personal account, you don't want people to be turned away from your business because of that.
Right.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So my opinion on that is really it depends on what you're doing. I feel like if you have a business that you're running, then there are probably things that you don't want to put on your business account. I think if you're just doing a personal one and you're just doing it to try to build a following, one of the best things you can do is show people how multifaceted you are. I think for me, I knew very quickly with my Facebook business page, my Instagram business page, for my own personal business that I have, that there were things that I could not say without losing customers. And it was happening a lot. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to separate the two so that a lot of my business stuff stays business and that my TikTok stuff is a lot of my advocacy work. And like social activism. And I think people that are generally my customers know that that is the person that I am, and they don't necessarily want me preaching at them all day. Whereas people that are following me on TikTok, that's what they're coming to me for. And so I really think like with my personal one, it is social activism. It a lot of old makeup stuff that I used to do. A lot of it is talking just about like my kids and being a mom and just life in general. And then when I went to make the golf one, I was like, oh, well, my golf videos are completely different than anything else that I was making because of the editing process. But also because I'm hanging out with pretty much the same group all the time, and I just felt like it didn't mesh well. And so I wanted my golf page to just be a golf page, and my personal page to really be all the different sides of me. So yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about some do's and don'ts at TikToks. What do you have that's like a do? What should people do?
Let's see. So we talked about be authentic already. I took some notes real quick. I always say like try not to stage it too much. Two of my biggest pet peeves are when I'm watching a TikTok thinking that there is something actually organically happening, and then about 10 seconds in, I realize like, oh, this is staged, or they're doing a very poor job of like acting this out. And I hate it. I will skip through a video very quickly when that happens. My other biggest pet peeve is the wait for it caption. Like when people are just trying to get you to watch all the way to the end. I understand why they're doing it, but a lot of times I'm like, listen, if you haven't hooked me, then why am I going to sit here and wait for your 1.5-minute video to be done with like I could be on somebody's 8-second video.
Yeah, luckily now there's like a scrub feature on the bottom.
Yes, and that didn't exist for a long time.
Because there's so many videos I've skipped to the end, and then because I didn't have to do that, so you definitely don't want to like scare people like that.
Yeah, I am on this like
build that like curiosity organically. They should be. You shouldn't need to tell them to wait for it for them to already want to know what's going to happen.
Right. I am on this weird side of TikTok of like cheating spouses and the people that are just like telling the story of how they caught their spouse cheating, and I'm like, I just want to know. I want to know what happened. I don't need to see you crying. And
they're going comments to part 2, part 3, part 4.
Yes. Also, yeah, that's my other thing. It's like, don't make 10 parts of a story. Try to get it down to 3 minutes if you need to. I think that like, to me as a marketer, that's a marketing ploy, right? Like I want you to come back and I want you to watch this second video and this third video and this fourth video. And as a marketer, I feel like it's super transparent, and I don't want to be marketed to.
Yeah, only with that, like, only when, like, you have full information. I don't mind the ones where, like, part one, like, this is just showing what happened and you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yes.
And, you know, the actual creator, you don't know what's going to happen next. So the audience obviously doesn't know either.
So it's like, okay, come back.
Keep them updated, and they're more likely to follow you because they do want to keep that engagement in whatever activity you're doing. Last year, I had one of these things. It was making a cone of candy every day of the year, and every day make it a little bit bigger. So I made 365 videos last year, every single day, and it started as like 0.19 grams. It ended on a couple pounds, and that was just something that people weren't upset at me for being multiple parts, but because like every single day it would be a little bit bigger, and that was just helping me to like get consistent. Like saying, I was like kind of challenging myself. Can I do this every single day? And some days I really didn't want to. And it helped me keep making other content as well. Because I didn't want to like only content to be, oh, here's the day 257, day 258. I wanted like good videos and more entertaining videos, like separate those. So I try to do like 2 videos a day. And if I didn't have that, like wanting to have it separated and didn't have too many of the same videos in a row, then I would definitely not have posted as much as I did. I don't recommend that everyone do that, but it's cool.
I got a question.
Yes.
This is from Steph, and he or she says 1 minute, 15 seconds, 3 minutes. What's the best?
Time. So I've posted basically all the times, and the best time to do is the time when it stops being entertaining.
Yeah.
So if you're telling a story, 60-second video is what people are going to want because they want to know all the story. If you do 15 seconds, they're going to like, what's more? But if it's like a montage video of montage for 60 seconds, it's way less enjoyable than just one that can be like more dense and like lots of different things happening in 10 seconds and 15 seconds. And so when people want like a short tip, they don't want to necessarily listen to you repeating basically the same idea for 60 seconds or 3 minutes. But if you have like a day in the life, that could be longer because you have a lot of things that happen. You had lots of words coming in. So if you have word either through text to speech or just you speaking with your face in the video, then having it longer is going to be all right. But most of my videos are like shorter videos that I try not to go too long.
Yeah. And algorithm-wise, the more, you kind of hit on it earlier, the more people that watch your video all the way through, the more your video is going to get pushed. And so really like shorter, especially when you're starting out, is probably better because you want people that are watching the whole thing. I think even with my videos, when I'm just speaking, most of the time, I don't speak to my phone and have a conversation. Most of the time, what I do is I kind of know the 4 points I want to make, right? And so I'll make a point, I'll stop it, I'll make my second point, I'll stop it, I'll make my third point and my fourth. And really what that does for me is it's shaving off probably 10 to 15 seconds in that video of me just going, and next, like, it's all these things that really aren't needed in my videos. And so my videos are very choppy, but they're quick. And so people are watching the whole thing. And especially with my video that went viral the first time, like, that video has actually gone viral multiple times in different years because someone will see it and then start sharing it to all of their friends, and then that happens. And it's a very quick video, but I didn't talk through my thoughts like I would do sitting here or what I would do in a conversation. I really did point by point by point that I wanted to make, and did it stop and go so that the timing on that was really tight. And really, like, I think that's kind of what I was saying about like the drama TikToks that I watch as well, is if they're sitting there for a long time and they're like, well, but then, and I don't know, and what am I doing? Like, I have no time for that. Like, I'm already going to spend an hour on TikTok. I don't also need to see you breathing or...
All right. Next question is from Slick, and it is consistency or creativity? Which one?
Both.
Do you want to go first on this one?
So I think consistency is what helps you the most to build. And I say that because you could post one TikTok a day, and as you go through it, a lot of times you're going to notice, because the TikTok algorithm really rewards you with consistency, right? I think creativity, algorithm-wise, isn't always rewarded, but consistency is. But I think that nobody's going to sit there and watch the whole thing if you don't have the creativity, right? Like, so that's why it's both to me.
Being consistent is always the good. Like, there's nothing, like, there could possibly be anything wrong of being consistent unless it hurts your creativity. And so if you asked me 1 year ago when I was making that video every day, I would have said consistency. But now I've done some tests like to see, and I would now say creativity is more important than having engaging videos. And forcing out unengaging videos, boring videos, you're going to have content on your page. TikTok may like that, but TikTok cares way more about people staying on your platform, because their whole goal is to make money, and they make money by people staying on their app, watching more ads. And so the longer they can keep people on the app, the better. And so that is through having videos that people watch all the way to the end. And so if you post only one video a week, I'd say make a good video that week.
Yeah.
Versus trying to like, okay, I'm getting 7 videos out this week, and I'm going to do that no matter what. And that's where things are going to like die off.
You spoke about money. What is the creator fund?
But the creator fund is TikTok's kind of like cheap way to pay their creators to keep them to making content.
I literally just wrote creator because I was like, we need to talk about this.
And I started right when it entered, and basically it is just a set amount of money. I think it started at like $500 million that TikTok pays for, like, that gets divvied up to the creators for per 1,000 views. The rate has changed over the years because more people are creating, so you get less money from it. And lots of people are like, should I be in it? Should I not be in it? If you are eligible, because lots of people said that TikTok doesn't want to pay people, so they're going to promote the people that are on the creator fund. And that is, some people still say it's the case, but it's been constantly denied by TikTok. And I don't think that's something that they're necessarily allowed to lie about. And so if you're eligible, I think you still have to have 10,000 followers join it. You can get some money from it. If your video goes viral, you can get more than just a chunk of change.
Yeah. So I heard from friends of mine that were doing Creator Fund, when I became eligible for it, they were like, don't do it. Just don't do it, because of what you said with TikTok not really pushing those videos, but also that if a company came to them through the Creator Fund and said, hey, we want you to make this video, like, you can basically accept or deny the
I think that's Creative Marketplace.
Yes. So with that was the other part of it. Sorry, I mixed up. But that if you denied, like, oh, I don't want to do this like car commercial, that all of a sudden, like, you were getting pretty much blacklisted on like the TikTok side of it. Well, they said no to this one, and so now we're not going to push any of their videos. And to me, that was like, well, why would I ever? If they're going to punish me for not putting out what they want.
For me, from what I've learned about this, because I have researched into this, lots of people don't want to be like mean or anything, but they want to find some reason for not doing as well as you'd want. And so I found, like, I've looked at my videos, I looked at the main correlator, which is watch time. I've seen things, and it's such a direct correlation to views, for me at least, because sometimes I'll get like 30% watch time, and the views will get like not that many, for me, but when it has like 60-70%, then that is the video that do well. And I don't have videos that have that type of watch time that don't have a large amount of views compared to the other videos. And so
I like that you look at it from a very like scientific and analytical way, because mine is just like whatever feels good.
Yeah, but honestly, like if you looking at the analytical side will only probably hurt you, because like it's nice to know what people like, but that's probably all that you should do. You shouldn't try to like game the system. Is make enjoyable content, and that's what you'll grow if you do that. And so finding out how to make enjoyable content, that's going to be the biggest trouble. And so this is something else I wanted to get into, finding out what is already doing well, because TikTok is a place of stealing. There's two types of stealing. There's like the organic stealing of like, oh, this is a trend, I'm gonna hop on this trend. But there's the like obviously the stealing of like taking other people's video, reposting that. That's obviously bad. But like getting ideas from other creators in your field. Like if you're making art videos, go to the search feature again and search art, or search anything related to watercolor if that's your specialty, and then filter it by what is the most liked, what has been the most relevant the past day, that like all time, and then scroll through those videos and write notes down. See like what are these people doing well that I should recreate in my videos. And if you like do like the same type of format, so if people are doing like a montage of like short clips in like a trending sound over, do that. People, as long as you're not like taking other people's art and stealing it for yourself, then it's all fair game. And that's what I do. Like I'll just search cotton candy and I'll see like what are people posting, like does this spark any ideas for me? And I'll use that to help base my content in the future, like what I can make. Also, it just helps easily get ideas. And so if you focus more on that side versus the more side of like, how can I like game the system, or how is the system hurting me? I find it's always not as important as it makes it out to see. Like the creative one especially, that's been the most demonized things, but I've made a couple $1,000s from that. So I'm definitely glad I have joined it.
My husband does music producing, and he will literally get on TikTok. I can't do this because I want to watch everything. He gets on and he's super focused, and for an hour he will go through trending videos, and if he hears a sound bite that he's like, oh, I can somehow turn this into a TikTok about music production, like he'll save it, right? I go through and I'm like, oh, this is funny. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I want to try that. Okay. And then I'll go off on a rabbit trail. I cannot sit there as focused as what he can and be like, yep, I want to use that sound. No, that's not gonna, like, we have two very different styles of how we TikTok. And it's so interesting to me, like now, because I'm hearing you from the analytical side, and I think it's fascinating. Just even the different ways that people use it.
For using TikTok, like if you're not making videos, I don't recommend the app, because it does such a good job showing you videos that you want to see that it's going to be just a time absorber. But having that little thought in the back of your mind as you're watching videos is like, do I want to make a video like this? Does this spark any ideas for me?
How does this apply to what I'm doing?
And scrolling through the videos, maybe not like completely actively thinking about, I don't really do that. I should just like spend time, like, can I make this video and have a question list for each video? Like, why is this video doing well? What aspect about it? Is it the time? Is it the audio? Is it what aspect of it? But that's not always feasible when funny videos show up. And I just want to just scroll through.
Yeah.
And so if you are really wanting to put in the work, but also watch TikTok, have questions in mind, have a notepad down the side too,
and save 5 hours to just
like one way I found to help keep me focused is like have it on a notepad, have something different. So like if I have like a notepad right on my phone and I have a pen in my hand, I'm way less likely to forget what I'm actually doing, which is trying to think of ideas.
It's a good tip.
So, Jordan asks, if not TikTok, what other platforms would you use?
Instagram.
I'd probably be using nothing now if it wasn't for TikTok, because I never liked social media till TikTok. But
That's interesting.
I found having that short form video on Instagram Reels is just as good. If you want to put in the extra work, repost on both, make it in a separate app so you don't have like the TikTok watermark or the Instagram Reels watermark. I use CapCut again to edit my videos, and I film just in the camera app. I find that's the best way. And then, because like I don't really like taking photos. I'm not a good photographer. I've been told multiple times I'm a bad photographer. And so like Instagram has never really been fun. It's always been work.
Yeah.
TikTok, making videos can be a lot more enjoyable if you make it out to be.
I say all the time that, like, if I weren't in marketing, I would not be on Facebook. I don't love it. And Instagram, the same thing. Like, I'm not a photographer. I feel like Instagram is very much a collection of just beautiful pictures, and that's not me. And so that's why when I found TikTok, I was like, oh, I'm able to, like, be real, be myself. It's not all based on, like, this one picture that has to be framed out perfectly with this perfect caption and, like, a mini blog. I can just say what's on my mind. Like, I just have these thoughts sometimes where I'm like, that's really funny, and I'm cracking myself up, and so I should record this. And a lot of those times, like, I would not put it on Facebook. I would not put it on Instagram because I don't have a picture to go with it. But on TikTok, I can literally get on and be like, here's what I was just thinking, and post it, and it's 15 seconds, and all of a sudden I have, like, all these other moms or all these other artists or whoever that are sitting there, like, building community with me over this one thing that I thought of that day. And so Instagram for the reels, not necessarily Instagram for the photos, but I would do Instagram instead of Facebook. I don't do Twitter at all anymore.
I don't do Twitter either. I've looked at it, but I haven't gotten into doing that.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like past the point of trying to like do social media like for work, because if it's unenjoyable, I'm not going to do it. I've already learned that about myself. So
yeah,
it's like the ones that are like, oh, this doesn't sound that fun, I'm not going to do it. And
yeah,
we're about out of time. So
okay.
Is there anything that you'd like to close or any one huge tip that you believe?
Yeah. So for me, if you asked me last year what's the most important thing in TikTok, it would say luck. Luck would be the most important thing. But now I have posted a lot of more videos than I did then. And it's not just about luck. You need luck, but it's way less important of a factor than I thought it was. It is engaging with people. Having content that people would want to watch and what you want to watch. So if you're not making videos that you yourself would watch, then other people probably won't watch it as yourself. Like, I have videos that I reposted. So I made one in May of last year, December last year, and then July of this year. And if it was just luck, they would have done, like, maybe one of them done well and the other ones didn't. But this is a video. Here, I'm going to read out some numbers. Hopefully I'm not. So in May of last year, it got 2.8. Then it got 1.6. And then it got 1.2 million. And I really thought that if it was luck, then one of them would have done well, and the other one would have done just what the ones around it did. But all of these were like best videos of the week or sometimes the month for some of them. And it's really showed me that it's not about how lucky you can get, but it's like how enjoyable are you to watch.
Yeah. My biggest piece of advice would be honestly to like build the community that you would want to hang out with. So even when you're watching videos, be really cognizant of that. Like, don't like or comment things that you don't actually like or that you don't actually want as like part of your life. I found at one point that I was on like witch talk, ex-Mormon TikTok, and like anti-Joe Rogan TikTok, and I didn't even know that those were things. And I've been really careful about who I follow, the videos that I like, because my own life is based on like motherhood. I love genealogy. I love marketing and video editing. I love like social activism and all of these different things. And so I went out intentionally and looked for other creators that were doing all of those things. And so because that's what I am taking in, that's what I'm also able to put out more easily. And I'm staying in those circles, or even like my DIY friends, like women contractors. I am their biggest fan, and I've actually like made friends on TikTok with a lot of people that I would not know otherwise. And I think that when you start to build that community, it kind of organically grows because these people that you like are interested in the same thing that you're putting out. And everybody's like pumping each other up, which then like helps the algorithm. You know, it helps all the boosting. So that would be my biggest piece of advice: is like find who you would want to hang out with, and connect with them.
They take great. Well, thank you both so much, Jason, Rox. This was absolutely great. Sorry to the Create Virginia audience. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning with sound, but we got that worked out. As always, I am Jawanta Hall. Our next creative session is August 31st, and that is with Eli Harris and Mike McKendry, who will show you how to chart your path to success and build your brand. So we will reconvene then, and we look forward to spending some more time with you. Thanks.